All right, welcome to tonight. Hey, we're going to be talking Marvel What If with Angel Rios tonight. But before we get on with that, I just want to let you guys know, go check out the Dash of Life channel where you can see more videos like this from past where Angel and I have talked a lot of Marvel, a lot of DC. But go check it out. Subscribe to the Dash of Life channel tonight. I want to thank everybody for their support. We're going to get Angel on here in just a few minutes when he shows up. Says he's got a big surprise for all of us. I can't wait to see what this big surprise is. But tonight, we're going to give you our Marvel What If breakdown and theories of what's to come. So hope you'll stay with us and check it out. So waiting on Angel to jump on in here and we'll get ready to go. Again, we got some great shows coming up the rest of the month. I've got some exciting stuff coming in September. So I hope you'll be sticking with us. So give me just a second. He says he's got a big surprise, so I can't wait to see what it is. So yeah, I saw the message right before I popped on here. So you said you got a big surprise for us. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see what it is.
All right. So, well, let's talk about the awesomeness that's first, and then we'll get to the idea that I have for your subscribers and the idea that I had. And I just thought of this and I was like, this is a sweet idea just to get more people involved with the show and get more people in comic books. So I have a great idea and we can reveal that at the end.
Okay. Sounds good. I can't wait. All right. Well, we're here for Marvel What If, at least the first two episodes that we've seen already, and some of the breakdown and theories that we've got. But first off, let me just ask you, so far in the first two episodes, what is the best thing that has stuck out to you?
I mean, you talked about it the other day on your Facebook page, and it's one of those things that a lot of people take it for granted, and it's the animation. It's not like DC's animation, because DC's animation is always changing depending on what the book is or the genre that they're doing or whatnot. Like when you got Batman, it's always going dark or gritty. The animation that they're doing for this, it's consistent, and it's almost gives you that comic book feel, texture kind of feel. And if Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all those guys were still alive, I think they would love the show just because they.
Absolutely, I get it. Almost a graphic novel feel, like that's what I mean, and that's what my wife says. She's like, she's just right in tune with the whole animation from the moment it popped on. She's like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're absolutely right on point. That's my favorite thing. I mean, not that I have tons of favorites about this series, but by far the animation sticks out, and I'm just like, wow. And I love, you got an old time feeling to it too. It's like back in almost you remember the old Superman cartoons where it just got an old vibe to it.
60s and 70s when they started coming out with the yeah,
like Max Fleischer and all those.
Yeah, it has that great feel for it, and that's what I like about it. I do like that animation. They're bringing back that type of animation because, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the kids' animation today is very, and it's funny to say, but cartoonish.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we grew up, our parents would say the same thing, like, "Your guys' animation is cartoonish," and it's like, well, yeah, it's cartoon, Dad. But this, like, it brings back memories of watching those old cartoons back in the day, and just the way they did that. And what I'm liking the most is, even though they have the Marvel, you have your Marvel, the Marvel intro every movie or every TV show. I like how they're doing that with the animation with it, and it's just awesome how they do that. And they always change it, like they did with Loki. It was green. When they did Black Widow, it was black. So when they did Black Panther, they did the black and purple, and they're always just changing it. But I like how they did the animation with it. So I can't wait for the next couple of episodes.
From the get-go, I was glued. I've watched anime, like even some of the DC stuff. I'm like, But man, I'm excited. Because it's new stuff. Some of the stuff hasn't come from any of the comic books.
Yeah.
They're taking their stories from obviously movies that have already happened, but and so that's another thing that I like. You obviously don't know what is going to happen with these cartoons.
Yeah.
And these shows.
You really don't. There is some idea of what they're going with. And we'll talk about that later on and stuff, which I can already kind of pick up on what they're going with, especially with that final episode. But I do like that they're not just picking a comic book and they're just going, okay, what if, Ant-Man was Captain America? Like that was one of the issues years ago. And it's like, okay, well, let's see something new. And then they're showing you something new at the same time as showing you the same movie, but which is amazing. I love it. I love it that, obviously if you guys haven't watched the first 2 episodes yet, you got Peggy Carter as Captain Carter. You can't really call her Captain America. You could call her Captain Britain if you really want to, but there is a Captain Britain. And then just the way that ended, and they're just like, sir, it's Captain Carter. And it's like, oh, now it's 2012, and she's been lost this whole time. So that's what I loved about it. Like they have the same element of the first movie especially with episode 1. They have the elements of the first movie of Captain America, but just gender swapped it, which is awesome. I loved it. I love the idea.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't have any complaints about that one at all. I mean, from the get-go of just the moment where instead of going and sitting up in the watch area, she stayed down there. So I love that how they did Steve, still keeping him relevant in the show, keeping him as part of it and not just going out, he's nothing. So I think my favorite part of that one though is just what we get to see Howard Stark actually do.
Yeah.
In the movie you saw a few things, but with this you could actually see where Tony got his brain, where he actually. So I love it. I love the Hydra Smasher, if you will.
Yeah.
I
think but that's the thing though, is that's the part of the what if, because you think about it. So think about it this way. With the what if, obviously, the first episode was, what if Peggy didn't go up to the top? She sat down and sat with everybody and she survived the explosion. She becomes Captain Carter. Well, with that train of that 1 millisecond of deciding what you're going to do, that changed the entire course down the road for every Avenger, not just Carter and Steve. It changed the events for even Bucky, because Bucky doesn't die.
Yeah.
So if Bucky doesn't die, who kills Howard Stark?
So he's going to go on. Yeah.
Why, yeah. Why is Iron Man? Why does Tony need to be Iron Man now? So I think that's where the greatness about this movie gets you thinking about that just one, and it's also the thing that I love about it is that it just really does get you thinking about what if I even changed 1 little millisecond of my life before him? Were the endless possibilities of things that could have come for me, or for anybody, So I think that's the great thing of the what ifs. They don't have to use a comic book source. They can just use a movie and just be like, hey, what if Bucky didn't die? Right. And it's like, oh, dang, how many things could have changed?
Well, that's what when in that first episode, when the train and they lost Steve, my first instant thought was Steve's going to become Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because I obviously didn't know what was going on. I'm like, all right, my brain's going straight to Steve's going to be Winter Soldier. I like the little nod to, hey, you almost ripped my arm out of its socket, when she rescued Bucky. But that was my first thought was, all right, Steve's going to become the Winter Soldier. That would make sense to me in a little bit of a way because here she's became, Captain Carter, and well, obviously this is the whole start of the Winter Soldier story anyway. So who's going to do that? But yeah, I loved it. I love the voice cast. I mean, I'm glad that they brought majority of the people back for the voice cast. So that was good. My only disappointment from the first, I didn't care for the Colonel. I mean, I know where they were going with that and that whole, but I just think they could have just, Hoop's opinion, I think they could have just done without him, and the cartoon would have been flawless.
I think if they would have brought back Tommy Lee Jones, and had him play that role, I think that would have been a bigger, impactful part. Because think about Tommy Lee Jones' character in the movie he was like, I'm all about Carter. When she screwed up, he was like, we're gonna have a talk, Carter. We're gonna have a talk. Like he was pissed, but he understood like her importance down the road. I think if we would have had him and that he played that role with those lines, I think that would have been crazy. Just been like, okay, all right, dang, like.
Yeah, more impactful to me.
Yeah, seeing a different side of him and stuff. That was one of my biggest complaints was the Colonel. And I get it. Like, I get the idea of getting more inclusiveness in the comic books and especially shows, and I get that, and getting that idea of the what happened back then with women in the military. I get that part. A lot of us, that study history and stuff like that, we understand it, and a lot of people that were in the military, we've heard it and we've understood it. And we still kind of see it sometimes today. So I get it. But it was kind of dumb. I did enjoy, I just had on the tip of my tongue the thing that I enjoyed the most. Dang it. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember now. Anyways, the Red Skull.
Oh.
I mean, yes, it wasn't him. It wasn't, it's a different actor. I do like that 85% of the guys that played in the movies are actually in the show, which is awesome. But the guy that played the Red Skull, and to change the story up of him, not just after the Tesseract, him trying to bring in,
Cthulhu.
Yeah. Cthulhu, or, in the comic book world, we like to call him Storgroth. It's a giant space squid, or I had two theories. It could have been Storgroth, or it could have been Hive, which we saw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., bringing him earlier because they are beings and they are part of Hydra at times. So I think that was a great. I think that was my favorite part, just seeing that and being a comic book fan, going, "Oh man."
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. The voice, if you don't know, is the guy, he's on Walking Dead. Aaron's character on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
On the TV show. I can't think of his name, but yeah, my wife's like, that really sounds. I was like, it's not him. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, that's not Hugo Weaving. He had something else going on. He couldn't make it for the tapings of the voices. But from the get-go, you still got to see the Howling Commandos, which was great. Dum Dum Dugan, always been a huge fan of his from Nick Fury in the comics, and it was good to see them bring them in, and giving some nods to the actual Captain America First Avenger busting through the door, shooting, taking down. But yeah, I loved it. I'm excited about this going forward. And it didn't get any. There was no letdown in the second show. Some stories and some shows that you're watching, you have a letdown in the second episode, but I think it just went and got better.
Yes.
Man, the what if T'Challa was Star-Lord? Oh my goodness. From the get-go, just hearing Chadwick Boseman's voice.
Yes.
Perfect. But what did you think about the second episode?
I'm not gonna lie. The wife and kids, we were watching it and we almost teared up, because just to hear, we've seen Chadwick Boseman those last couple of years. He's been in a lot of movies, even after his passing, that he had filmed. And they were great films, a lot of them great films. But to hear his voice as T'Challa again, without having to watch Black Panther or Civil War or the Avengers, you know, to hear him just as Black Panther or, you know, T'Challa, and then to have him playing Star-Lord was just it was really magical. Like we were just like, wow. And the fact that he wanted to play him as much as he possibly could before he passed away, you knew at that point, you knew like he knew how important this character was. He knew how important T'Challa was, not just for the African American community, but for any other, you know, any other minority community, you know. Because like even like I was watching this thing the other day, and I was just like, oh man, it made sense, you know. They were talking about Latins being in the Marvel films, and the only person that we've seen Latin wise is the new soon to be new Falcon. You know,
New Falcon.
and it was like, and I really haven't noticed that yet, but to know that Chadwick was fighting for that to be coming down the pipe and hearing that voice again, it was just awesome. Yeah. I love Chadwick. Chadwick was a great actor, and for him to play that role just one more time, or in our sense, 4 more times, because we got to hear him in 3 more episodes.
3 more episodes with him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome. I did like the changing of all the characters, how they are all these bad villains, and then all of a sudden they're good guys.
Well, that just like it said, it shows what T'Challa. I mean, even in the normal timeline, what T'Challa means to
the world,
humanity, to the world, to humanity, and the effect that he has on. And I hope we'll get. I was hoping we get to see a little bit more of it. I mean, we saw it a little bit in Avengers Endgame and in Infinity War, how he, but I hope we get to see more of that. And obviously we do with 3 more episodes coming with T'Challa. But yeah, to see that he can change Thanos of all people, he can just his presence in that timeline.
Yeah.
In that instance, to make Thanos change his mind about everything. And that was my son's first instinct was, Thanos is a good guy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's yeah. It was I loved. I don't think I had any complaints other than I know he did the voice for the Collector. You know, he was still I can't think of his name right now. Yeah, Benicio del Toro. It just seemed off from Guardians to this. I mean, I love that he was back, but it just seemed a little. I mean, I know what they were trying to make him more bad and everything, but
yeah,
it was a little off. But
yeah, he just seemed more of a mob boss, where he wasn't like his typical like collector. You know, like he was like, oh, the Infinity Stones. You know, he wasn't freaking out.
Like he was a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Just stranger, I guess, in Guardians of the Galaxy, where here he was just like in your face. And I get it. He's got to be the big baddie for this show. I get it. But I wanted him to be more intrinsic and inquisitive and you know, but I mean, it would make sense because he had, I mean, in his collection there, we're to assume that he already has the Power Stones because he had it in Guardians, so he's probably still got the Infinity Stones there with him in this collection. So, but yeah, overall, I gave it 5. Man, that episode was 5 stars. That's what I put on there. It's just from the get-go to having Nebula. She was great.
She was almost like a Black Widow, almost. You know, just like
almost Black Widow-ish. Like, and I got you. You got the Gamora. I got the Gamora vibe. She's playing the Gamora.
Yeah.
More of the Gamora character. I got that vibe from her, but it was great to see her not all jacked up, and I guess that's what happens when her and her dad make up, and he doesn't rip her and tear her apart and give her new parts.
Yeah, I like that the Black Order was basically a security group, you know, for the planet of nowhere. So I was just like, dude, this one's a really interesting one because it's, you know, I did like the surprise ending. You know, like Star-Lord's just sitting there just mopping a Dairy Queen. or Dairy
Yeah.
Queen, just like, hey,
Dairy
what's
Queen.
up, guys? Like, hey, I'm still,
Yeah,
I'm Peter. Like, what? What's?
he's gonna be bad.
Yeah, yeah,
I think he's gonna be the bad guy. In this, at least in this timeline, and if they bring him back, he's going to be Ego's going to corrupt him.
yeah. I think it's either he's gonna get corrupted, or he's just gonna end up dying from Ego.
Yeah.
My biggest idea of the way the show is going to go. Well, actually, we'll wait to that because I think my favorite part of the whole episode was really just T'Challa talking about, like we said, being good and taking care of everybody around you, your community, your world, your universe. Like we only got one of these. And I think that's what's the great thing about T'Challa. Through all the movies, he's always talked about that. Taking care of each other, no matter what their deviations are or whatever their orientations are or whatever, like just be a great person and or alien or whatever you are, and just succeed, and do it. I think my funniest, I don't know about you, my funniest part of that whole episode was the greatest line in that whole thing was literally, once you go duck, you never go back. Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Howard the Duck.
We need more Howard the Duck in our lives.
And then Seth Green reprising his role from, it was great. Nate asked, are they going to link the shows or are they going to Star Trek it where the episodes don't line up? That's a great question, Nate, because I'm sitting there thinking, and even in if they must line up somehow, because even T'Chaka in this timeline didn't die.
Yeah.
I think they'll line up in one way or another where obviously they're all different timelines, but something's going to mesh all these together. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
I think with the What If series, I think, and I was about to say it, but now I can say it now. Really, I think when it comes to this season, or even further down with the series, I think we're going to keep seeing this is all like, it keeps saying it's different timelines, but I think this is actually one timeline within the What If series. I do think the big bad, besides Peter, because like I said, I don't think Peter's going to survive. I think he's going to either get corrupted and be like kind of like a sub mini boss, or get killed by his dad. I think the big bad is actually going to be a Vision hybrid Ultron.
Ooh.
I can see something like that happening, because we really didn't get that much Ultron when it came to Age of Ultron. Like, you think Ultron's one of these big bads, like the guy just doesn't die and they just kind of like, all right, he's done. Like, so I think they're gonna try to create something to make it like Ultron, Vision like, and he's gonna be the big bad.
I didn't even think. You know what? I didn't even thought of Ultron yet. I was going straight with the, because I was like, well, and you brought it up, if Tony doesn't even become Iron Man, how are we going to get an Ultron? Unless they go back to the comic book route and Ant-Man, I'll think of his name here in a second. The original Ant-Man, he makes him like he did in the comics.
Yeah.
Hank Pym.
All that.
Does Hank create Ultron? Because now there might be a need for it even earlier than when Tony needed him. So so that's a good point. Ultron didn't even cross, even though that's the best Avengers by far. Age of Ultron was the best Avengers. I didn't even think about him. It's like, God, I just put him out of my mind, because he just, that's good. Ooh, good theory. Yeah, I like that. That's a good baddie.
And then think about the team that way. You're talking about Captain Carter. You're talking about Star-Lord and his Guardians team, his Guardians of the Galaxy. You're talking about
can we at least not kill off Yondu though? Can we?
Yeah.
Yondu.
Needs to come. If we can't kill off Yondu, but he needs to come in with an umbrella when he comes on a fight scene. He's coming with.
We gotta have Mary Poppins, y'all.
I know who Mary Poppins is, and just talk smack. even if we could bring out Steve, and just keep building off of that, I think this and like you can have your Hank Pym and Ant-Man and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool. I do, or even Killmonger, because we know.
Yeah, Killmonger. I forgot about him.
I mean, think about that Avengers cast right there, fighting off this hybrid Vision Ultron kind of looking thing going on. It'd just be sick. But like I said, I think it's all just one connected timeline for the What If series. I think it's its own timeline, but it is canon throughout the MCU because we are dealing with the multiverse now because of after the events of Loki, my buddy Loki here. You have the multiple timelines going on, So I think that's where we have those multiple timelines, and I think eventually we're going to have the timelines come back together. But at what cost? And I think that will be the cost of at what cost, who survives, who doesn't survive, And I think that's where we will end up having, we may even, like I said, the last episode, we may even get Agent Carter. She may come in as Captain Carter live action, we may even get Killmonger coming back as a good guy, even though he died, we may have him come back as a good guy, we may even get that hybrid What If Vision Ultron coming in as a bad guy.
That would be pretty good.
And having James come back as Ultron's voice would be amazing.
Yeah. So Nate says, I think Steve is dead now or damn close. He'd be 89 or plus on the new timeline. Steve is on the moon. No kidding. He's with the Inhumans.
Yeah.
On the moon.
Yeah.
He's with he's no doubt about it. In my mind, he's got the Terrigen Mist now. They've kept him preserved, if you will. That's just my theory. That's a Dash theory, I think. But it was hinted to on in a few occasions in Captain America: The Winter Soldier that he's on the moon, and I honestly think that's where he is. He's with the Inhumans. I think they're going to bring the Inhumans in somehow or way, whether it's through What If or they bring him back from the dead from that crappy ABC show that they had. I think I'm sorry, but
yeah.
So Adrian says Ultron, Thanos, King, Loki are some of the best big baddies of Marvel that are repetitive villains besides Magneto and Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I would say, but I feel like you're missing another character. What's up, buddy? Uh-oh. What's my...
Oh, yeah, definitely, Adrian. They're bringing Killmonger back. It's this timeline's going to get jacked up where Killmonger comes back in some way or form, where he didn't perish in the normal timeline. So
yeah,
but we're talking about comics. Anybody can come back.
So, oh yeah, anybody. I mean, how many times has Norman Osborn came back and become the Goblin, or even the Carnage Goblin, like he was calling himself, and he had Carnage's symbiote on top of him, and then he infects his grandson with it. Like, there's so many great evil villains that have come back and they've just destroyed and be like, hey, I'm here. But no, you are right. I think even with the live action right now, those are the big bads, and those are the best big bads, But the problem with having some of the best big bads is you have to find the right actor for it. You really do. The guy Doom, when we were when we watched it younger ago, we were like, oh, all right, cool. Like, this isn't like, it's Doctor Doom, but it's all right. Now you're rewatching, like, this was not Doctor Doom. He sucks.
No, he would. No. So do we? I know we're following, like we said, we're following the movies and the characters in those movies. Do we have a chance of anything new being introduced, new characters, or is it just going to stay amongst the timeline of what we've already had out in the theaters and on TV?
I think we're going to get new characters, but not new characters. And that sounds weird. I think we may end up seeing, and this is just me thinking, I think besides the Vision hybrid Ultron I've been talking about, I think we may even see Shuri put on the Black Panther outfit and be the Black Panther. You know, obviously like their dad passes away and he's Star-Lord, so why would he want to put on Black Panther? You know, so I think we'll see that. I really don't see us seeing a lot of new characters. Not until all the new movies start coming out with Shang-Chi, with the Eternals coming out. But with What If, yeah, I don't really see anything new. Like I said, maybe just the main bad on whoever the main bad was going to be.
Yeah. The only thing I think new that we'll see obviously is the zombie.
Yeah.
The obviously we know the zombies are coming. And I was sitting there thinking, do you remember I think it was Civil War, Crossbones, that's where they went. They went and got whatever that was biohazard.
Yeah.
Does that come into play
with
what causes the zombie breakout? So
that's the great thing of what Robert Kirkman did when he was helping write the Ultimate Fantastic Four series. I want to say it was Ultimate Fantastic Four number 23 to 32 in series number 5 or 6, something like that. It's a great series. If you ever get a chance to read it, fantastic series. But what happens is that you have, it was Wolverine was getting these vials, and Wolverine was trying to get help Captain America get the vials and transport them out. Crossbones messes it all up, and these vials start to break. And one by one, all the Avengers start to get infected. And then one by one, all the Marvel characters start getting really infected, and they start eating each other and stuff. I would love to see it play out that way. But the only issue, though, is now that, yes, you have the live action, or you have all the properties back except for Spider-Man and some Hulk characters, you can play it out that way. You really can for that episode. But I feel like, and this is just me thinking, I feel like if that is an episode kind of thing, it needs to be a series kind of thing. Series, that whole series, I think they're on Marvel Zombies 6 now. Yeah. It is 6. So crazy because you're talking about even Galactus comes into it and he's trying to eat the planet, and you got a Wolverine going up there and biting Galactus, and they eat Galactus, and then they put his armor on him so nobody really kill off the zombies. Then you start bringing in, somehow Ash Williams gets involved in the Evil Dead, starts fighting them off. So I feel like you really have to make a whole series out of that. It can't just be a what if, because like I said, that series is just fantastic. It's a great story. What Robert Kirkman did with bringing zombies into Marvel was just like crazy work. We did see a live action Marvel zombie already. If you guys don't remember, from Spider-Man, when he's dealing with the astral projection from Mysterio, and he sees Tony Stark coming out of the grave, and he's at the Iron Man suit. That's literally a 1-for-1 shot of what Tony looked like in Marvel Zombies, like just eating up half of his gear on him, his helmet's falling off, I think it'd be awesome.
Adrian says, I see us getting some of the X-Men, but we'll get them one by one. I don't think we see X-Men. And Angel and I talked about this last time. I don't see any X-Men coming until after Phase 5, maybe. Yeah. Phase 5, probably in Phase 6. I just don't. I mean, the only thing we may get mutantish wise, but obviously besides if they retcon what Wanda is now, Namor, if Namor shows up in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
That's the only mutant I think we see.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think we may get a nod towards the mutants somewhere, maybe during Marvel Zombies, maybe. But the way this series is going, I don't see them talking about mutants or anything like that. I do see Namor coming out in Black Panther 2, being the big bad. I do see Shuri becoming Black Panther at the very end of it. But yeah, I don't see the X-Men or any other Fantastic Four characters coming out until at least Phase 5.
And that's what I think. I mean, because we obviously, I mean, I'm with you on Namor being the big baddie, because we know they had in the comics and everything that Wakanda and the Atlantans went to battle with each other anyway. So yeah, man, there's some good stuff coming up, and like we talked about, we know that we know where Ironheart is coming in. She's going to be in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
But does that give her ties to Wakanda instead of the jacked up background that she has in the comics? You know, in the comics she was kind of from, you know, a really bad area in town, and she had a really crappy life. Is she going to be Wakandan now? Is she going to have some kind of tie to the Wakandans?
I think she'll have ties to the Wakandans, but not actually Wakanda. Like, she's not actually from Wakanda or anything. She's not Wakandian or anything like that. So you got to remember the end of Black Panther 1, when they're back in Compton, and he wants to change that that house where his uncle lived and where Killmonger lived, the projects out there. He was like, we need to change this into a community center and grow the future. I think that's where we're going to find her. She's going to be like on a visa tour or something like that. She won a campaign. She goes to Wakanda. She meets Shuri. They start talking. And then she kind of shows her like, oh, yeah, I'm inspired by Iron Man. You know, like, this is what I've been kind of been looking at. She shows her like a cosplay kind of idea, or like a sketch or whatever she has. And I think Shuri will give her the tech to try to create it and be like, we need another Iron Man in life, you know, because what Tony did for the world was just too much.
Yep.
We're going to need it. And I think that's when we'll start to hear the banging. At the very end of that, we'll hear like the banging, and that'll be her creating her.
Working on her suit. Yeah, man, that's really awesome. Adrian says, do y'all think John Krasinski is the best choice for Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to do it. I don't see anybody else looking like Reed Richards like John Krasinski. And I mean, with his track record of how funny he is, obviously in The Office and other things that he's done, and how he's been able to make movies with The Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2, I feel like that's also another place where you can actually probably even utilize him. Like, if he knows the source material, he understands it, let him help write the script.
Yeah, let him write it.
Yeah.
Yep, let him write it. Let him have it. You can, I mean, like I said, you're right. He's done great with The Quiet Place. Let him have it. Let him write it. Let him do whatever he has to do. But yeah, no doubt in my mind, Adrian, he's the best pick for Reed Richards, hands down. There's no argument from me on that one. So what do we got next coming with What If? What do we think we're going to see? There's some things I know we're not getting. Obviously, we're not getting Spider-Man in the where he turns half spider, or we're not getting that one.
No, we're not getting the old Spider-Man and half spider, half man thing. I do think we are going to get the ultimate. We are going to get 3 more episodes T'Challa. We are.
Mm-hmm.
I know that confirmed. I've seen that. Not the episodes, but I've seen, like, they've talked about, like, hey, he is in for 4 episodes, so he is there. So obviously, I think we're going to get him in the last episode. I can see us getting the Sorcerer Supreme Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So obviously, we're going to get that Doctor Strange. Like, what if Doctor Strange wasn't Doctor Strange? We're going to get that argument. So I think that's going to be one of the episodes. We're going to get our Marvel Zombies. Like we've already talked about. So those are 3, probably the last 3 episodes. This next episode, I think T'Challa is going to be in it. I think it's going to kind of be like a runoff of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And just me thinking about this now, I think we might actually get a new character, a character that we've been wanting to get since Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And now we might see Adam Warlock, you know.
Yeah, they hinted to that, I think, in a little bit. We saw, or didn't we? We saw that in the collector's thing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then they kind of retconned that, and then when we went to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, at the end of that one, where we saw the actual cocoon.
Yeah,
that's a good. Yeah, we might. I never thought about that
because
well. That's a good idea.
That would be episode 3, and then I think that you'll have the big battle, episode 6. I think episode 4 you'll have Marvel Zombies, And then I think episode 5, you'll have the what if the Sorcerer Supreme was Spider-Man or Peter Parker, you know. So I think those are going to be the last 4 episodes we're going to have coming out. I don't know how they're going to go. We can speculate. But I think it's going to be pretty, I think they're going to be pretty, really, really cool. I think they're going to be really good nods to the fans that have followed the Marvel universe now for, 14, almost 15 years now. Yeah. So
2011, 2009? No, 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Was when the first
2007.
MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Marvel continue on? Not just with What If. Do they continue on with this animation style? Do they give us more animated stuff now? As much as this has been a hit, and I've seen it all over.
Yeah.
You know, all over the net. This has been a hit as far as the animation goes. Do we get more animation movies or stuff out of Marvel?
I think we're going to get more animation. I think we're going to get another season of What If. I really do. Because there's no way they're just going to start setting up characters and then obviously nothing happens with them. It's just going to be kind of dumb. I don't see them doing, like, going back to the old animation styles and stuff like that. I do see them doing more different animation styles if they keep doing different animation shows or movies or whatever. Because, I mean, after a while, you're going to see the same animation on like 5 different shows and you get tired of it, you know. So I think with this animation for What If is special to it. If they do other animations, I can see them doing the stop motion animation like they did with MODOK. I can see them doing some other crazy animations like that down the road. But I think there's just going to be this animation is really going to be strictly for What If, you know, because it gives you that like kind of like weird feeling watching it. You're just like, oh, this is weird, you know, like, am I high right now? I'm like, what is going on? There's so many pixelated things going on, but it looks so cool. So I think that's where the animation is going to stay with is What If.
Okay, that's yeah. I don't know. I'm a sucker for animation. I mean, you give me an animated show, I'm a sucker. Bring it all. I mean, I think it's a way, even if they continue going with animation. Now, I mean, I know we've had Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Spider-Man and all those, but I think it would be a way to carry on. You could carry on Tony and Steve and whatnot, and you don't have to have the movies, but now you can carry them on through different stories through the animation. That's just my wish. I don't know if we're ever going to get that, but that's my wish on it. Yeah. One more thing before we have to get off here, and you do your now. What do you think? I mean, you and I finally got to sit down and watch the Eternals trailer. Oh my gosh, this movie is going to be on point. Yeah. I think it's going to be one of the best movies they've had. I mean, I think it may even beat Avengers Ultron. Yeah. And I'm not talking just because the ensemble of the cast. I like where they're going with it. I like, you know, now we finally get to know why they sat back and didn't help with Thanos. It makes sense. I never knew that was what was the reason, but I'm not going to give any spoilers unless you've watched. Obviously, it's in the trailer if you haven't seen the trailer, but I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see where this heads, and obviously they're going to be around for a while now.
Well, I mean, they've been around the whole time, you know. They've been on Earth since the beginning of time, so that's what I love about it. I'm excited that they're bringing out the Deviants. The Deviants is a very interesting story about, like, you know, how the Eternals. It's almost like a race, or almost like a race war of like the Skrulls and the Kree. And I'm really interested to see how they do it. I am excited because there is rumors that Thanos will be back in this movie also, and they'll show a little bit more of his history, which is awesome because he is a celestial being. He is family to the Eternals. So I think it would be interesting to see how he became purple, and obviously they look more humanoid due to deviant bloodline. I think it'll be interesting to see Titan in its glory if we get to. And just the trailer alone obviously hinted at a lot of things. Why they didn't get involved with the Avengers, both times. Why they're still on Earth. You know, it hinted at a lot of that. the ensemble of that cast just looks amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong,
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
a
great.
sucker for Salma Hayek. I'll always be a sucker for Salma Hayek. That woman could be 80 years old and I'll still be a sucker for her.
Yep, sucker.
But the ensemble of the cast is just it's awesome. I mean, you're talking about, like I said, Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington. You got two guys from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
You know, and so I think it's gonna be a very, very, really, really cool movie how they do it. I'm excited. A lot of people don't know who's Kit Harington's gonna be playing. He's gonna be playing the Black Knight.
Black Knight.
Which we probably won't see.
But he's not even an Eternal. He's not an Eternal, so he must have some tie to, because obviously they go back to pre. I'm curious to see what Black Knight's how he ties into it. Because
I think what they're gonna do with the Black Knight is I think they're gonna do something along the lines of, like, his family has lineage all the way to the first Black Knight in the medieval times. And he's, you know, he has the lineage, but somehow the Eternals got in conflict with that and the sword was lost. So he's probably looking for the sword or whatnot. And then he you know, he's trying to find the Eternals to figure out where the sword is. But then you also have the Eternals doing what they're going to be doing, which they only have 12 days to deal with. So I think there's going to be a lot of storyline going on just to set up these characters. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool origin film, but at the same time, pushing the MCU to a new direction and a new idea. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see how they do this.
Do we get more than one Eternal movie?
I think we will.
Do we get like an Eternals 2, and are we going to see like I hope so, because, man, like I said, it looks fire, it looks lit. I'm ready for it. And just some good stuff coming down the road, brother. I'm so excited. Like we talked about last time, there is so much on the horizon for Marvel and the years to come. It's a good time to be a MCU fan anyways. It's a good time to be a fan. So I am ready to see where we go. We got another show set up. We talked about it. We'll do one once Eternals comes out. I guess we can do the next 2 episodes and talk about that like we did with this one. We'll do 2 episodes and come back for the next ones. But you said you have a big. I'm excited here. What's the big surprise? The big announcement?
All right. So as a lot of some of your fan base probably doesn't know, but I do collect comic books, as you can tell by my glorious boxes back here. That's not even my collection. My collection's in my closet, and it stays in my closet until I add new stuff to it. But this is the stuff that I sell off to the side. These are all my comic books I sell to the side. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, man, what are we talking about? We're talking about what if. And so I started going through these boxes earlier, and I found something, and I was like, you know what? This would be really cool for Dash to do what he has to do. You know, we talked about what if, and I thought of an idea. I want your subscribers to come up with your best, how can we say it? Your best idea, your best theory for the final episode. Okay. And you got to subscribe before the final episode airs. You just can't go one for one. Like, oh yeah, dude, I knew the whole thing, you know, after the episode ends. And the best person to do one, and Dash, you can decide, the best person to do one will get a what if the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain.
Oh, look at that, folks.
So it's
I'm down with that. Excellent.
Yeah, it's a great book. Obviously we saw not really the what if, but it actually does happen in Endgame and stuff like that. But I found it in the box, and I was like, you know what? This would be a really cool thing that Dash can raffle off and send off to whoever wins the best theory or whatever. And yeah, so just come up with your best idea, your best theory, send it off to Dash. We'll watch the episodes, and after episode 6 airs and we both watch it, Dash, you figure out the winner. And give me the name, the address, give me the info, and I'll send them this book of what if Bruce Banner or the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain. So
I'm down with it. That's awesome. I appreciate that, my friend.
Yeah, brother.
Sweet.
Yeah, it'll be a fun gift if they want to give it to their kids and their kids to start comic book collection. I like to see people start comic books. You know, comic books are great reads. You know, and
absolutely.
You know, I even do it when I do my little Comic Cons around here in California. I give kids free books all the time. So, you know, it's a good way to get kids into comic books, and it is a collector's edition. So it is a collector's book too. I think it's the condition it is right now anywhere from a $10 to $15 book.
Nice. That's a good start.
Yeah.
My buddy Harshman, we got one more question and we got to go.
Yeah.
But Harshman asked, what are the thoughts about Captain America 4? I know it's coming. I don't know much more about it. I just know that they've announced that it's coming. I'm excited to see where it goes. Maybe we'll have some more information for you, Dave, in the next show. And I'm always doing my research. So maybe I'll have some more for you on that. What do you think? I don't know much about other than they just announced it.
Well, they just announced it, and they did sign on Anthony Mackie to reprise the role as Captain America. So he will be having his shield and everything. I don't know much about it either. I am very excited to see if we do get Torres as his Falcon. If we got Torres as his Falcon, that'd be amazing. I think the Torres' Falcon is really cool. I don't know who the big bad would be. I think it may be another. It could be another spy flick or another political flick, like Winter Soldier kind of was.
Winter Soldier.
But
I don't know who he. Unless somehow Red Skull come. I mean, he came back in the comic books after a while. Maybe he comes back now,
or maybe we can start fighting Lady Hydra and Turturu.
Yeah.
Because we.
Good point. Yeah.
We start seeing that crew starting being created because now you have Yolanda, you have, you got what's his name, U.S. agent going on with her now. So you got 2 out of the five people she normally recruits. So we may see that play effect.
I definitely think U.S. agent's back. John's back for Captain America 4. And it's a good point. Yeah, we see Lady Hydra. I'm marking it down. You're right on point. I think we see Lady Hydra.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time I got tonight, buddy. We'll set up for our next one. Thank you for the awesome gift. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll figure out how to do it, and we'll get some lucky winner will win an awesome comic. But as always, my friend, I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, bro.
Set up another show soon. All right, brother.
In a couple weeks, brother. All right. Night.
Yep. I see you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out tonight, watching the show. Appreciate all your input. Great questions tonight. I love getting these questions. If you ever have anything for myself or you want to know Pick Angel's brain, let us know. We try to give our best guesses and it's just theories and we never know, but I appreciate every one of you coming out tonight, watching. We're going to try to have some more regular shows like this, so please stick with us. Like he said, come up with your theory for the final What If, and we'll have a great comic book to give to one of the lucky winners. So keep going to the Dash Live channel, be looking for the updates, and once again, thank you and have a good night, and be checking for the next Marvel show. Love you guys. See you later.